Thank you so much, and welcome everyone. We're so delighted to have you with us. What a group we have today. So the theme of the summit is shared planet, shared future, shared purpose. And it's so much more than just a tagline. You know, in the interconnected world that we're in today, really understanding, you know, this is really at the core of what we'll be talking about today. So when we think about shared planet, with COVID, we've seen that something that can happen on one side of the world can impact all of us, supply chains, these types of things. Biodiversity loss in one region really impacts us all over. Through shared future, you know, I was on a panel, probably a month ago, and there was a scientist on the panel who said, you know, there's a 1 in 6 chance that a child born today will be the last generation. I mean, we just can't have that. This can't be the discussion. So shared future, do we have one? You know, this is for the people in this room, and for anybody who's an adult today, this is our time to really make the difference. And then shared purpose. So shared purpose, as we think about the people that you're here with, every single person throughout the day that you'll meet has been hand-selected. We have chosen you because you are pioneers. You're pushing forward in your different fields, in different areas, but you're fighting the good fight. And this is a time to meet the community, to learn from each other. It's a really diverse group, but you all share that doing the hard work, you know, going up against the odds and really trying to make a difference for humanity. And it's such an honor to have you all with us. I couldn't be more excited about the day ahead. One of the things you'll see is that the agenda, as I said, is really vast. So you'll see we've got Africa on purpose, space on purpose, and it may seem that these things are not connected, but true to the theme, you'll see that even if we don't talk about space in the Africa session, you'll see that, you know, one of the best areas to launch a rocket is from Kenya. And there's a huge space community that's happening there. So if you're on the space panel, look to connect with the people that are in the Africa session. If we think about youth, there's a session on youth and talent. And we have another session that's coming up here about capital and investment in infrastructure. Well, maybe you won't think that there's such a connection, but we won't talk about youth in the first one, but you'll see that, you know, without the infrastructure, we don't have the jobs for the future of our talent. So all of these things are really interconnected, and I will challenge you to connect with each other, meet with each other. At the end of the week, we'll send you a questionnaire, and we want to know, who did you meet? What did you do while you were here? So definitely take the moment to do that. And, you know, as we go back to the theme of shared, this event was a collaborative process. And we've had this amazing partnership with Brand Fuel. I don't know if the Brand Fuel team can raise your hand or oh, here we go. The Brand Fuel team has just been a tremendous partner for us. We're just really delighted to be collaborating with them on this. We wouldn't be here without their tremendous support. Their team is fabulous. And so I really want to thank them. Handshake. We have a tremendous partnership with Handshake. We've had, you know, The Beautiful Truth as well. So each of you has been a partner and a co-creator, and welcome, and really have the best time ever here. This is a chance of a lifetime. And with that, I will turn it over to my amazing co-founder.
Welcome. Also from my side, we, as Chris shared, we are in absolute delight to have you here, because we're all here on purpose. All of us are doing incredible work, and it is not easy. It is not easy. So a group of leaders and of teams that are with you here today, and that you are working with the youth, with the next generation of leaders, with cross-sectoral leaders, with multinational corporational leaders. We're all one group and really one team to figuring out the journey upon which we have embarked, and we are continue to embark. And the Leaders on Purpose CEO Summit was born really out of the private sector engagement strategy with the World Bank 6 years ago. And now, after 6 years, being here and having this growing group of leaders joining us, we are deeply grateful for the work. We are deeply grateful for the time that you're spending here with us today and in the evening. We will have, as some of you probably know, an incredible Jeffersonian dinner happening in the evening, co-hosted with Equity Group Holdings, which is an incredible partner of Leaders on Purpose and the CEO Summit. And and with that, connect, learn, share, be honest with each other. Where are we today? What needs to happen next year? We know that we have all these ambitions and and commitments, 2030, 2050, the purpose-first economy, the fulfillment of the SDGs in any kind of scenarios. And it's very important because these are our North Stars. And what can we do? What needs to get done so that next year we can come together and we say, we have achieved some significant milestones. We have enabled us to really move beyond, and we are able to measure progress in ways that was unimaginable. What needs to happen that we can say this next year when we come here together to the UNGA, or when we see each other at WEF, or when we see each other at COP? And so these are the conversations we would love for you to have and to learn and to share. And with that, I'll give it over to Nicole, our incredible MC and partner and friend of us, of Leaders on Purpose, that will guide us here through the day. We have Loni here with us that will guide us in the amphitheater from 10:45 through all these sessions over there. You're in great hands. The whole team is here really to support you. And Nicole, please introduce our next incredible speaker that is just waiting here right now around.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Krista, Tatiana, for this opportunity. PepsiCo. So this is a company that many of you will have heard of, and you're thinking, okay, we're opening the morning with the keynote or remarks from somebody who works at a soda company. Well, I'm here to share that we're much more than, quote unquote, a soda company. We happen to be one of the world's largest food and beverage companies with a portfolio of brands that you may know. You might think about Gatorade, you might think about Quaker, you might think about Lay's potato chips, and then for some reason we have lots of toes. Doritos, Tostitos, Cheetos, Fritos, lots of other products. But at the end of the day, those great brands and products really amount to what's inside the can and what's inside the bag, and that's agricultural ingredients, agricultural products. There's the potatoes that make Lay's potato chips. There's corn that makes Doritos. There's the water that's used in all of those beverages. And so as a company, we're rooted in agriculture. And that's really important to share because 2 years ago, we embarked upon a journey. This is in 2021. So think about where the world was. Think about where America was 1 year after America's reckoning with race, with the George Floyd moment that we're all familiar with. And amidst that, a global pandemic, which brought us all together in a way that we never thought we would be together, whether with our families or our loved ones in our homes or as a global community, because everyone was impacted. And it was during that time that PepsiCo sort of went through a transformation. We said, we want to change who we are as a company. And we went through an end-to-end transformation where we put sustainability and human capital at the center of everything that we do. Sustainability and human capital at the center of how we're going to create growth and create value, operating within planetary boundaries, and being more inspirational for people and planet. And we call that PepsiCo Positive, this transformation. This is being positive in our agriculture. We're a company that sources 30 ingredients, 30 crops from 60 countries around the world, over 7 million acres of agriculture. We're a company that uses a lot of water, and so we want to be positive in our value chains, and we want to be circular, pushing back on the make, take, and waste philosophy and thinking about circularity and being net water positive. And we want to be positive in the choices that we put out in the world in those crops. And so think about SodaStream, which is a disruptive innovation where you can have at-home consumption. So my kids woke up this morning and they may want some hot chocolate. And how do they eat that how do they drink that hot chocolate? It's in a packet. It's in a packet with some hot water, and they pour it in a cup. And so they only know hot chocolate in that fashion. Well, think about all the beverages that we utilize. A lot of beverages that are in plastic bottles or aluminum cans or bottles, but they're driving around the world in trucks. We have the largest private fleet in America. Those trucks are emitting GHG emissions. Those trucks are filled with liquid and plastic. But an innovation, an inspirational innovation like SodaStream, disrupts that entire system because you're making at-home carbonated drinks at home. And so no longer are you thinking about the GHG, the water usage in different ways, or the plastic. And so this being inspirational in our products in terms of lowering the sugar, lowering the fat, lowering the sodium, so inspiring products. So being PepsiCo positive in our agriculture, positive in our value chains, and positive in the choices that we put out to the world. And for me, I have the pleasure and the privilege and the pressure of working for a company that's one of the largest food and beverage companies that has size and scale, 300,000 employees, 200 markets, and how do we show up as a positive force for good without responsibility? And so I take our philanthropic capital and think about ways that we can address societal needs, but also use those corporate assets to really think about business opportunities, not for fly-by-night, short-term solutions. I've been in government, I've been in the nonprofit sector, and now I'm in corporate America. And I can tell you the life cycle of philanthropic development projects are a little bit in government, they're even a little bit in civil society and NGOs, but for a company, we're thinking about for the long term. You take a brand like Pepsi, 2 weeks ago, we celebrated 125 years as a brand. These companies, when we invest in issues to really be more positive for people and planet, it's not an election cycle and it's not a moment in time. It's literally from here to eternity. And so when we made this transformation, it's not for a reason or a season. It really is for the lifetime of the company. And so let me give you 3 ways in which we're using philanthropic capital to address the societal needs, but also creating business opportunities. So one is in something that we have a lot of, and that's our procurement. But our procurement is challenged, as procurement is, but also there's societal need as it relates to women and smallholder farming and agriculture. Women literally feed the world, and we have a program called She Feeds the World. So 50 to 60% of women in low-income countries earn their livelihoods through agriculture. It's labor intensive, they're unacknowledged, they're under resources, they don't have the technology available, and so it's not as productive as possible. So we want to address the societal need of making agriculture more productive for women. Because if we make it more productive for women, we make it more productive for all of us. So that's a great program, and that will be something that's funded through philanthropy. Not news to any of you. And so we have that program. We work with a large NGO, Care International. But the real secret sauce of this is that we're linking our support to smallholder farmers in a country like Vietnam and Thailand and countries like Turkey and Colombia and countries like India and Pakistan, working with smallholder farmers, 5 million across the planet, making them more productive, increasing their incomes, providing more nutritious foods in their communities. That's a great program, but linking it with our business objectives. We want to source potatoes. We want to source corn. We want to source oats for Quaker Oats all over the world. So working with the women, not only to improve their livelihoods and the income opportunities, but linking them to our supply chain. So this is something that's going to be indelible and durable. And so making sure our societal needs, our corporate assets also have some business interests and business opportunities. So that's our procurement. Let's go with sort of our talent pipeline. In a country like Egypt, only 18% of corporate jobs are filled by women. 18% of all corporate jobs in Egypt, a major market. So PepsiCo is a large employer there, and we want to increase our employer base. We have a thirst. It's a war for talent. We need talented individuals. Women are going to university at a higher rate, but not getting jobs, especially in jobs in areas that we need: supply chain, sales, finance. A lot of jobs where women are underrepresented. So we created a program with the local subsidiary of Junior Achievement. Some of you may know the large NGO Junior Achievement. Their local organization there is called NJAS. So working with NJAS and recent college graduates, females, we provide them with mentorship. We provide them with internships. We provide them with opportunities to grow and develop their skills. They're breaking barriers. Women are not in these jobs in Egypt and all over the Middle East. But PepsiCo investing with local nonprofits, looking at mentorship, looking at management, looking at business advisory, helping them understand there's opportunities there. Now we're not only creating and addressing a societal need for women's economic empowerment and employment, especially young, educated women who are underemployed. We're not only solving that problem, we're also solving a talent pipeline that we need in PepsiCo Egypt. So again, addressing societal need with a corporate asset beyond our philanthropy, but inclusive of our philanthropy to solve a societal challenge. And then lastly, closer here at home, over the pandemic, Black and brown populations in the U.S. were hit harder than most because of a number of things related to health indices, but also just because of the communities that they work in, and especially Black and brown small businesses. 40% of Black-owned restaurants shut down temporary or permanently during the pandemic. Similar numbers for the Hispanic community. These are businesses that weren't necessarily future-proof. What does that mean? We all ordered more. We all, we were all digital natives all of a sudden. And these restaurants are community centers. These are restaurants that are, affectionately known as hole in the walls. These are places where we go and you show up and you order and you wait because that, whatever you're eating has been literally, smoldering for hours. And this is grandmother's recipes that are passed down. All of those businesses, a number of those businesses, hit harder by the pandemic than ever. And so PepsiCo, as a company that's rooted in community, we're in these communities, and we sort of said, we care about restaurants, and we need restaurants to survive, to adapt to the new normal and thrive. And so we've invested $10 million in Black and Hispanic businesses and restaurants all over the U.S. through a program called Impacto and a Black Restaurant Accelerator program, a Hispanic Restaurant Accelerator program, and a Black Restaurant Accelerator program to make sure that these businesses have been able to bounce back better, that they've been able to become digitized, that they're in our supply chain now. These are businesses that are now we're introducing to our business teams, who are now have greater access to local restaurants. But we didn't stop in the US. Now you can see this program being replicated in South Africa, where they have similar racial challenges and dynamics for underserved, underrepresented, historically excluded populations in the food service industry. South Africa, and the same thing happening in Brazil. So we're taking our philanthropic capital, we're addressing societal needs, we're being PepsiCo positive because we feel like business is a positive force for good, not only during bad times or good times, but forever. And we feel like as a company, we need to operate within planetary boundaries, but we need to ensure that we're showing up, yes, being profitable, but for people and planet. And for that, we are a leader on purpose. Thank you.